ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, and our listening and viewing public. I am Press Secretary Philomena Robertson. Welcome to today's post-cabinet briefing, which is being held one day later this week as we had to facilitate the meeting of the Senate yesterday. Our guest for today's briefing is Honorable Gregory Bowen, who is the Minister of Communications, Works, Physical Development, Public Utilities, ICT, and Community Development. Welcome, Minister Bowen, and thank you for being here today as we update the public on the all-important subject of finances. Members of the media, today's discussion will focus on the Green Climate Fund, through which Grenada has been able to access some funds, the DPA loan, the Pension Reform Initiative, which is a much talked about subject in recent days, and the debushing program, which got underway this week. Minister Bowen will make a presentation, and then as usual, we'll entertain your questions. Before I go any further, I would urge everyone to place their phones on silent or vibrate so that we do not interrupt the proceedings. Minister Bowen, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Facilitator. I recognize my colleague, as always, the Senator, the Honorable Winston Garvey, who is always here with us. A pleasant morning to the listening and viewing public, to you members of the press. And as the Facilitator Press Secretary has said, I will be giving a brief on the topics mentioned. However, I will interweave them so that we can see the connection and the relevance. It is fitting that I commence with the debushing program, which got underway, the seasonal component, only on Monday. On previous occasions, we would have started long before, that is, since the beginning of July, so that the last pay day will fall before the reopening of schools. However, many reasons can be given for the later start. The most important will be the efficiency. We noted what has happened to our climate, and we continue to note and respect the prediction of climate change. The bush was not there to be debushed. And even now, we have to ensure that the workers, the crews, give value for money. We recommence, again, the process of measuring areas so that the contractor and the crew will give close to the 10 days, the fortnight work. We have listened to the complaint of the public, of people going out there, commencing 6 and leaving 7:30 or 8. And for a fortnight, instead of close to the 10 days, people are leaving after 4 and 5 days, completing the task allocated to them. So we have measured the task now. And we recognize in our measurements that a lot of homeowners have cleaned in front of the door and into the neighbor's property. This was something we are getting complaints about, that in the bigger world, the people are used to clean in front of the door. So I want to applaud and compliment the homeowners and our citizens in this regard. The measurement of the task brought this out. And so the length of areas to be debushed will be increased to include that length that was already debushed by the homeowners. So we may hear complaints from the contractors that they're given more to do, but we want them to give the relevant quantity of work for the fortnight's pay. We have looked again at a new construct. Previously, for the last 10 to 12 years, maybe way back to 2007-8, we were only debushing, that is cutting the grass, without doing proper drainage. And so we have moved into the warden crews. And some people ask, well, who are the wardens? You may say that the wardens are the contractors for each of these no crews that will work year round. They'll be tackling drains and culverts year round, while we have the seasonal debouches that will come for the Easter and the Carnival and the Christmas program. Before, we had 538 crews island-wide operating, only during these seasons that I have mentioned. However, with the introduction of the wardens or the warden contractor, for clarity, you will have 64 such crews working year-round. There will be a reduction in the seasonal crews from 538 to 378. Why? So that we keep the expenditure the same. $18 million was spent on debushing during the previous years for the three programs, Easter, Carnival, and Christmas. And so the seasonal component will continue, but the reduction in that number of crews will go towards the wardens, 64 crews. 11 constituencies will have 4 warden crews working year-round. 3, the larger constituencies in David, St. John, and South, the Grand Anse constituency, they will have 6 crew each. And the Tongue of St. George will have 2 warden crews working year-round. So during the dry season, they'll be opening the culverts, clearing the drains, doing all other activities that the debushing crew will do. But when the onslaught of the rain will come in June or July, then the culverts will be clean, the drains will be cleared, and we will not have the roads cracking up and eating away, having us to spend excessively on asphalt and even on concrete works. Some of the things that they will be doing, in addition to the normal activities of the seasonal crew, there'll be beach cleaning, so they could be deployed to clean the beach. They could clean the compounds of government-owned properties where no one is assigned. So we see this is a compound, and we see big grass growing up because nobody was in that compound, or the government is not using it for the time being. They will be used to do this. And they will also could be used together with the seasonal crew for the sargassum cleanup. And this is of extreme importance. We have deployed and spent over $800,000 already on cleaning up the beaches with equipment and heavy trucks. But the cry has come. We are damaging the beach by removing the sand together with the sargassum. So we need, while we need heavy equipment, we need manpower so that with tools that will not destroy the beaches. And that's where both the wardens and the seasonal crews will be deployed. Both crews, again, the warden crews and the seasonal crews, will help with farm labor. The Ministry of Agriculture has a small budget, just under $500,000, to help the farms to grow the crops that are beneficial to the community and to the country. We're looking at the export crops, including soursop and some of the more delicacies in the crop world. They will be worked on. Labor will be provided to some of these farms, both from the Ministry of Agriculture, and their $500,000 will not be able to do all of it, so we'll use some people from the seasonal debushing and from the wardens to assist in that regard. Agriculture is a key pillar, a key component of our economic development. Tools. What is the reason that we did not do drainage? It is because the contractors and the crew members must have tools. But year after year, we spend over $1 million, and then we don't see where the tools go. So we will undertake a new procedure that is already in train. The government will purchase the tools for the contractor. The contractor will pay to the government $100 every month. This will be deducted from the pay, so that between 12 to 14 months, because the tools cost between $1,200 and $1,400, they will repay for the tools. The tools will be the contractor's own. And that is one of the primary reasons you see that they're year-round, so that they can pay for the tools. If they damage a bit or break it, they will have to repay. Government may come forward, if the contractor so wishes, and provide the replacement tool, but then again, the contractor will have to pay for this. It is important that the warden contractors understand this. And now they'll have the tools to do their work. The wheelbarrows, the forks, the spades, the culvert spades, all the necessary tools, files and rakes, etc. And in the warden crews, you have the warden himself or herself with 5 persons. 4 persons must be capable of doing man-type work. They need not be men, because they could be women as well, and they will get the same pay. But I refer to it as a man-type work. They uses of the forks and the spades and the heavier type work. And 1 person will be doing the lighter work. That person could be a man or a woman. So there is nothing to say that you must have 4 men and a number of women. Just have people that could do the man-type work and a person that could do the lady-type work in every crew. Now, in a vein, I would like to mention, although the press secretary did not indicate it, but there's a new board in the Gravel and Concrete in Montreal Production Corporation, referred to as Gravel and Concrete. This is of critical importance because we met with the contractors, major contractors doing construction work in Grenada, and heard a cry about the deficiency of the Gravel and Concrete program. Everyone is aware that we were tackling a public-private partnership arrangement with a team from Trinidad and Tobago. That did not go forward for 3 critical reasons. The government side could not get into the agreement the condition that the state must manage the rate of extraction. And this we had agreed with the union already. That is, if you get a partnership arrangement for 20 years, and if you will deplete the stock in 15 years, what will happen to the workers? So we're saying that we must manage it. This does not mean that it cannot happen, because if construction continues to grow, it may be that we may deplete the quarry. But the private partner also had the authority to export material. No harm in this. The revenue will come to Grenada. We import sand from Ghana. But what we are saying is that we must know exactly where we are, and we must be able to slow down the rate of sale abroad so that the local persons will not have to then import material at a higher price. We could not get that into the agreement. That was one of the biggest stumbling blocks. 2 other issues why we did not go forward with it is because things that should be ironed out now were placed to the end. For example, instead of a real private partnership, the arrangement went along the line of a company. You had components of the company in it. So after the investor will have invested his finances, and after 20 years, what happens when it is not a pure PPP? Then you have retained earnings. So the idea for PPP is after the period has elapsed, is that you hand back, sometimes for a token amount of $1, but you hand back the operations to the state. But in this case, we could not get the agreement that however you craft the arrangement, whether it's part company, part PPP, that you will hand back to the state for $1. We could not get that in. It means 20 years from now, the person who is managing and the state may have had to pay a significant sum just for getting it back. These are just 2 of the things that we did not get in. And as we promised the workers and we promised Grenada, we will do everything in our power to get the PPP going. It's a very good arrangement, but if it does not serve the country, we should not continue. So we have a new board of directors, and the state may now have to invest, because the contractors out there are saying that we need services and material from Gravel and Concrete that the PPP would have given, because the private partner would have invested into the company. But since we don't have this now, the government must step to the plate, and we may have to ask the Ministry of Finance, not may, we certainly will have to ask the Ministry of Finance to invest in the trucks, in the pumps, in the concrete trucks, in the block making facility. And that is why we selected a board that will have a lot of financial input into it, so that when we move to them, they will know of exactly what is going on in Graveland Concrete, and we'll be able to support the request for finances. The chairman of that board is Quinta Charles. She is now the Accountant General in the Ministry of Finance. We have Mr. Francis Mahon, someone who sells construction material. Mr. Raphael Pussell, someone who sells, again, construction material. Why did we select them? First, we cannot put a contractor, because if a contractor goes there and he has to serve himself, he's managing a facility that serves himself, it would not look that good for the rest of the contractors who will say, you have an advantage. So the next best sector is some person who have an indirect interest. That is, these firms, construction firms, that sell material, they recognize that they will sell more if Graveland Concrete sells more. So their impetus is not to buy or serve themselves with material from Graveland Concrete, but to ensure that Graveland Concrete operates in a manner that will meet the demand of the construction contractors out there. Ms. Aisha Abraham, she was the audit director of audit. Now she works in a senior position in the Ministry of Finance. So they will know what's going on and help us to give the appropriate financial assistance to Graveland Concrete. It's a Donald Madison, always a Caribou connection. And we have the permanent secretary, Ministry of Works. And there is one person that we asked the unions to nominate. And I've made it abundantly clear to the unions and to my cabinet colleague that this person that you will recommend, the primary focus must be on managing Graveland Concrete. The workers in Graveland Concrete are an integral and extremely important asset to the corporation. So in managing any business, you know you must look after the workers. But you must not sit on a board simply with a narrow focus of I'm looking after the workers, increases, etc. You must look after the company first and foremost. And I think the union has an obligation to make a recommendation that will fit these criteria. And if we look now at grants, the Green Climate Fund, why has government of Grenada attracted so much grant? It is because of our prudent fiscal management. Remember, during the structural adjustment program, the sums of money, the millions and millions given by the IMF, the World Bank, the European Union, etc., because we did what we have to do. And I repeat again, I've said it in many forums. It is not the IMF who told us to do this, or who told us to do that. We did it because we know it is right and it will bring benefit to our country. That is why we moved along a line. We spoke to our people, told them that we need to do it. And when the IMF and the international community saw that we took this position, many times I sat before them. I say, you don't have to convince me. I will tell you the best method of doing it. But we agree that it has to be done. And after they see our approach, and they continue to move and operate in such a manner through the monitoring committees, then Grenada got more and more. The GCF grant I want to speak about today is that 125 million EC dollars to the National Water and Sewage Authority for water throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. This tackles water. Remember, we must continue to go forward, and we have many projects that will push towards the sewer improvement in the country. The $125 million will go a lot in construction, pipelines, dams, etc. Now, NAWASA uses crushed aggregate. the hard basalt stone to build the dams. They don't use the cinders that we have at Queen's Park. It is in this context that we must look at gravel and concrete, who has telescope as having tremendous opportunities. If they could secure the sale of all the aggregates, okay, they will be getting revenues of millions, teens, maybe 20, $30 million. And if they buy the concrete prepared by gravel and concrete, then the sale component will go up. So I've spoken to the board of NAWASA, and I've asked them to look specifically at what they can do to ensure that they get the right type of material from gravel and concrete. So we have two statutory bodies now. One will be looking for a service and may even be taking some stake in the management of certain aspects of the facilities that will provide the material to them. And gravel and concrete will be getting a source of increased revenue, not only increase, but large increased revenues. And this is of critical importance. This is why I want to mention it in particular. But just to give you a broader idea of the GCA fund, you would have heard it from the minister responsible for climate resilience. We have the Grenada, we made the first smart city in the region. And that is a significant sum of money that will be invested. We're looking at the blue economy. We're looking at the airport and trying to make it climate change resilient as much as possible. So significant sums will be expended there. We have the New York University, the experts from there coming to Grenada, touring and presenting to us the plans and programs for this smart city. Again, gravel and concrete will have a great opportunity in going and getting sales for their products. You know, we have a plant here that could make sand from the cinders, from the aggregates in Queen's Park. None of our construction team love to use this. One, it is brown. It doesn't plaster lovely, nicely, as they say. But the Chinese use it in the construction of the stadium. It has the proper strength and properties. So if we have this crushing plant there and we could make sand from it, our householders may not use it because we don't like it, it's not white and so forth. But with all these massive construction projects coming on stream, great opportunities again. So the Ministry of Climate Resilience could be and will be working with gravel and concrete again, or the contractors will be coming to do the projects. And there's a lot of opportunities for gravel and concrete. So if we invest at $10, $15 million in that facility, we expect to see a lot gained for our community. I've told you why we did not go on with the PPP. That does not mean that once we get a good partner, a partner who will work along with the government, that we will not continue it. The financial consideration, the PFM, the AFRL, and the debt management service. We know that we must keep, or we must try to reach 55% debt to GDP ratio. So what has the government done, in the meantime? We're saying, one, there should be a moratorium on any further borrowing. You heard it's whether it's 71% or 68% debt to GDP ratio, but we have not reached the 55 yet. But we must remain on a downward trajectory. That is, if we're 71% now, it must never go up to 72%. We would have failed, therefore. But we have a lot of projects for which we already have the financing. But the debt to GDP ratio is calculated only when you draw down. If we draw down all the projects in the next 3 years, that means you completed all the projects. You have the farm roads, you have the St. Patrick roads, you have other projects, and they're all agreed and signed on just to draw down. But if you draw down on all of them, you'll be drawing down about $500 million. What happens over 3 years? Up goes the debt. So it was 71 now, maybe it's 70 or 68, and it starts to go back up to 69 and 70. What will happen to us? immediately, everything, all the benefits that we get will cut out. You'll see no more grants coming in. You'll have pressure. And one of the things that we are forgetting, that debt forgiveness that we got, it doesn't mean that you forgive the debt and you go back to where you were and not be prudent and careful in managing the economy. They could ask us to pay back that 50%. You know. In fact, there are those who hope that we'll go back to the state so that we'll have to repay that 50%. So you no longer will be having debt forgiveness. So all our development with respect to the financial area in the country rests on prudent management. So what should we do with this $500 million in the pipeline? The Ministry of Finance has proposed and the Cabinet has accepted these following reforms, if you want to call them. A reduction in the committed undisbursed balances, about 500,000. So we must cut it out. So there are some projects that we're going to say, while we have the monies for it, we just cannot embark upon it. The use of most of the 50% of the World Bank's development policy loan resources to reduce the debt. Now we already have about $65 million from the DPL, Development Policy Loan, that the Prime Minister and Minister for Finance has spoken about. 0.75% interest rate, 10% grace, 40 years to pay. That's lovely monies. So we should grab it down and work with it. And we could draw it down very quickly, you know. So let us say within 1 year we draw down that $65 million. What will happen to the debt GDP ratio? Up it will go. And as you start to go up in the trajectory, everything falls down. All the funds that we're getting, all the help that we're getting, the 125 million grant that Nawasa got, it was because of how we managed the country financially, you know. So we have to be extremely careful. So one of the proposals is to use half of this $65 million, thereabout, DPL loan, to reduce high interest debts. There are debts that we're paying 5 and 6 and 7 and 8, even 10% on. So take this lovely debt, reduce the high interest rate debt, and you would not have any increase in the debt to GDP ratio. Then we have the utilization of the debt management unit in all debt creating activities. The law mandates that. So we want to put it into effect. Any ministry, any statutory body will be borrowing. We must go to the debt management unit and see how that debt will affect the debt to GDP ratio. Do we have the space to borrow and yet not turn the trajectory to go back up, that will continue to go down? And our arrangement with the international community is to reach by 2030 the 55%. But by managing prudently, it is estimated that we'll get it by 2020. And when we get to 55%, then you can breathe a sigh of relief. And then we might say, a little more here, a little more there. And the country will continue to flourish. No more borrowing for the rest of the year. So we have to work within our means. And this brings us to the topic of the pension reform, restoration and reform. We have agreed to pay the $7.2 million thereabout for the 56 workers between 1984 and 85. That is because the effective date of the Pension Disqualification Act is 22nd February 1985, and not the 4th of August. You've heard it passed, and I'm sure you've heard it at the Senate yesterday, that it passed these bills, so that these people are entitled. And we want to reiterate, the Pension Disqualification Act came into effect on the 22nd February 1985. And so, as the Constitution requires, anybody joining the public service after that will receive a pension of the act that is in place at that point in time. So this Disqualification Act is in place. You're entitled to NIS everybody is. It's not so much to do with the government workers only. But there are certain persons who are of the opinion that you are entitled to a pension. We embarked upon it because we thought it was right. And as I said, it is right and just. So we wanted to restore it. But there is no constitutional, no legal requirement to give it. We're working with our unions so that everyone should be able to get a pension. And I'm sure it was debated at length in the Senate yesterday. Those persons, the 56, they're entitled to it. Those after, we must work out something so that the country will be able to pay. Remember what I said before? If the debt trajectory only goes back up, Grenada is right back from where we came. And so it is of extreme importance for us to get a solution that will help our people, help our workers, but at the same time, keep us grounded in our development. We don't want to go back there where the international community say, well, you're not behaving properly, pay all that we have given you as the haircut, pay it back. We don't want to reach there. So we must manage prudently. And we're doing things not because of threats, I say. We're doing things because we know it is the right thing to do. And we hope all of Grenada would follow that standpoint. So, in a nutshell, this is what I'll do the presentation, and over I'll take some questions.
Thank you very much, Minister Bowen. So we've had a lot of food for thought on government's finances. We've heard about the bushing program, the addition of the environmental crews this year who will work year-round, but the important factor is that government's expenditure on that particular project would not increase. There is a balance between the seasonal crews and the environmental wardens who will work year-round. And for the first time, they will be tackling the issue of drainage, providing tools to the contractors, the contractor wardens, and they will be responsible for those tools and responsible for taking care of the drainage, ensuring that drains are clean, culverts are cleared, so that we do not experience cases of flooding, or we minimize cases of flooding and instances where roads can become undermined. We also heard about the appointment of the new board at the Gravel and Concrete Emulsion Corporation. Ms. Quinta Charles, the Accountant General, being the new chairman of that board. And she is in the company of several other persons: Francis Mahon, Raphael Purcell, Issa Abraham, Donald Matheson, the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Finance, and a person to be nominated by the union for representation on that board. We also heard of the importance of government maintaining its fiscal position and the significance of the downward trend in our debt to GDP ratio, the importance of keeping that going downward, and the moratorium that's being placed on borrowing so that we avoid any upward movement in our debt to GDP ratio, so that we continue to receive the level of grants that we have been able to benefit from in recent times. It is now time to entertain questions from the media. I ask that you identify yourself and the media house that you represent before you ask your question.
Good morning. Karima Lois, the New Today newspaper. The new board at Gravel and Concrete, how long will it stand?
We're taking it in short bursts because we have not dispensed with the idea of a PPP. And when the new partners come, they will take over the management. So 1 year. The law doesn't say it should be 2 or 3 or 4. but we'll follow what the law says. And since it gives us room, we'll take it 1 year. Not because we don't want to give them more, but we're still open to a PPP that will serve both the private partner and the state.
Okay. And with this new board, what is the most drastic change we can expect from gravel and concrete?
Production, being able to serve the contractors in the country. Yes, and the investment utilizing the input from the government of Grenada. So we have better blocks, better concrete, etc. At what point in time, gravel and concrete was a cream of production in Grenada. But now you have many other corporations. Nothing's wrong with that, but gravel and concrete has fallen in the standard, and they must come back up. So the investment will bring them back on par. Better block making plant. You don't want a warp mold, etc., as the lady explained in the meeting that we had with them. You want proper equipment. So we'll see this, and we should see it very quickly.
Okay, and you spoke about the PPP. I mean, if you find a good partner, then the government will go ahead with that. Why is it so important for the government to engage in a PPP as it relates to gravel and concrete?
Because of the level of investment. You must put monies in. And we agree that our exposure to PPP so must not be more than 5% of GDP. If we put in $15 million, this would be the start, Then the PPP must work and wait and put in another 20 million, because we're targeting, we say, all the GCA funds, right? Hundreds of millions. But you'll want a big investment. Well, government must now take in a large sum of money, maybe 40 or 50 million, in order to target all of those. We put in the 15 to give us a start to supply our local industry now. But we also want to come from this. So we're still looking for a partner who will come in and say, yes, I'll put in the massive amount you need, and then I could get all the sales in the Smart City program, all the sales in the NAWASA program, etc. In fact, if we have a statutory body that could find a significant sum, that will be a beautiful trend to take, because you'll have a state-owned company putting the money and reaping the benefits out of it. But if the state has to put it in, and remember, we cannot borrow. We have to be managing prudently. And the PPP is one way of getting government to stay along a narrow track and not invest in these things that will cause us either to slip back or not to meet the criteria that have been set for us. And don't forget, we have the people in the pension, estimated to cost a lot of monies. So if we could just go along the track, this track, and let the private people move along the other track, that will be the best for our country.
Okay, good morning, Tonya St. Louis Lawrence, MTV. Minister Bowen, on the debushing program, well, the road wardens, a number of persons are concerned with the manner in which the workers are working, in terms of they would cut the bush or clean the drains and so on, but the trucks, we know normally trucks would come to carry it, but for days they're on the side of the road and nothing is being done about it.
What we have done in the past, and this will occur both with the wardens and with the seasonal debushes, is we try to rotate the trucks and give as many truckmen in the area as you can the jobs. But now, knowing of the problems, those trucks who perform, they will get the jobs throughout the year. And those who will not perform, well, don't come to complain, because you are causing a problem to our citizens. And that is a very legitimate concern, of the people. We may, I don't believe it's only increasing the rates. And an important point to make is on the high use road, traffic light granance. The truckmen themselves said, I want to take it out, but I cannot take it out. I have to take my men all day in the night, and granance is busy throughout, right? I have to take my men after 8, after 9, I still cannot work. So in these cases, we must have to look at maybe compensating some more for working in the night. But when you take the debris out from 10 in the morning, it is a problem from 10:01 because the traffic is heavy and it is blocking the drains. So maybe we'd have to look at working in Grandlands at different times, not only Grandlands, but in those high used areas at different times of the day.
And the sewage plans for the upgrades and so on in the south of the island, you made mention of a number of projects where the funding is already there, but the projects, for various reasons, have not started. That's one of the projects. Or if not, when are we going to see work started?
Sewage plant.
No, recently you made mention of plans to upgrade and improve the sewage system in the south of the island. Is that one of the projects where you made mention where the fundings are already there, but the projects are not started for various reasons? And if not, when are we going to see this work started?
No, this is not one of the projects where the funds are already there. It could come into the Green Climate Fund that they're doing studies on. So we have not signed on the dotted lines for the monies, but it will come because it is damaging the reef besides on land problems. But that is not one that we'll have to say no. If the funds were already there, that is definitely one we'll say yes, and others will have to get out the door. But that GCF in the smart city and the Grandlands roads and so forth, that's where this will come in. Not only environment and on land, but out of the sea. And the sewage is a main component of this project.
At the last sitting of the House of Representatives, I remember you made mention that you all are meeting with some of the roadside mechanics and to address that issue. Where are we with that?
I think GIS is here. Tomorrow, God's willing, 2 p.m. We'll have all the garages from St. George, the parish. And it's not only roadside, we may call them roadside, but we want to own all the garages. In fact, some of them came up to say, well, listen, I'm registered. But these who are registered are not causing some of the problems. But there is one common problem throughout, the environmental problem. And when this local garage owner could say that he's appalled by some of his compatriots in that sector who will drain the oil from an engine and drop it into the soil or into the drain. In fact, he asked, I hope that this will come up at the meeting. He said, I don't believe that I, referring to himself, am a problem in the other areas, but this is a problem for all of us. So 2 p.m., Thursday, God's willing, in this very room, you should have all the garage owners from the parish of St. George discussing the issues.
And another issue you touched on in the House of Rep is the market vendors with the booths in Grenville. We spoke to some of them and they were rather looking forward to government meeting them halfway because yes, they're willing to pay, but with the slow business, they're complaining that they really can't pay.
So you wanted certainly the ministry is amenable to look at the plight, but if not those who can't pay, that we must meet halfway. We must meet everybody halfway, and that is the issue. And some of them will use the market for 3 days. I think it's $3 a day. If you're using it for the whole week, it could be, a burdensome. So perhaps we could look at those who use it for the whole week. But you see the sum, $9 a week, and we're still paying back the Caribbean Development Bank for this big project, millions of dollars. So we'll give it some consideration, particularly as the level of activities has fallen. Remember I said that they're not bad pay at all? They're facing a problem. So yes, we're willing to meet with them, but they cannot isolate themselves and say, just meet with us who can't pay and forget those who are paying. And we must look at the financial implications as well.
Okay, we did start a few minutes late, but we have come to the end of our allotted time. I want to thank you for being present here today. I want to thank the Minister, Honorable Gregory Bowen, for sharing this significant information with the media and with our viewing and listening public to ensure that you're kept abreast of all that the government is doing in the interest of this country. I thank you very much, and we'll see you again next week.
It is said that education is the key to success. The Grenada Development Bank believes this to be the truth. Hence the reason we have made it our prerogative to ensure that your key is in safe hands with us. Here is how you can unlock your success with an education loan from the GDB. We offer you 3 loan options. We've got our regular student loan, our work-study student loan, and our special student loan. Our regular student loan is for persons who wish to pursue full-time tertiary level education. If you are a permanent employee who wish to study while continuing your employment, then our work-study loan is for you. Our special student loan is in collaboration with the government of Grenada, geared towards vulnerable persons who would like to pursue higher level education. Remember, you must have proof of admission from a recognized institution here at home or abroad. All our loans are 100% financing with interest rates as low as 5%. Get your funding from GDB today for your tertiary level education, your technical training or vocational training, even professional development, with up to 12 years to repay. Your future success is today. Grab it now.
Enemy's walls are bound to crumble, and to the floor their spears will fall. I've been made and sealed with love, but time to battle, I'll find them all. I felt the whips and remember chains, but my sword has been forged by my father's flames. Fight your fears and heal your pain, and victory will be in your name. I used to be weak, but I'm not weak no more. I found the strength of my ancestors deep down in my African core. I used to be frightened, I'm not afraid no more. The Father blessed me with the heart of a lion and a warrior soul. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail, and no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them.
Good morning, Grenada. Yeah, my name is Devon Romain, and a pleasant, beautiful Grenadian morning. Yeah, welcome to another edition of Hard Talk program. Yeah, where we ain't afraid nobody. We saying what we want, how we want. One is the facts, the truth. Good morning to everyone on the live. Special good morning to all of you, wherever you at. You know. And so, special Grenadian morning. Yeah, this morning, well, we had a post-cabinet press conference this morning, and Minister Bowen was up for bat, Minister of Works, yes, and so he was up bat. Yeah, he opened the bat this morning, right? And we had our press secretary, Ms. Philomena Robinson, yeah, doing the introduction and so. Very timely, and usually the press conference post-cabinet comes on a Tuesday, but they had to facilitate for the Senate on yesterday, right? And so hey, thanks again, guys, for all the information. Minister Bowen, parliamentary rep for Southeast St. George's, you know, spelled it out, dealt with a number of things. But before we dive into some of that, though, we have some housekeeping here to take care of. And so the Ministry of Health and the Environment, right? This is to inform you that the Vector Control Division of the Ministry of Health will be conducting fogging operation on the following days and in the following areas in an effort to reduce the incidence of dengue fever that is currently on the rise. This phase of fogging operation will target areas of suspected and confirmed dengue cases, and this operation will complement the entomological surveillance of the Aedes aegypti mosquito that is being carried out. Okay, so the schedule for this week, as of yesterday, Tuesday, well, the 24th, right, there was in Telescope and Environment, including Progress Park. That was from 5 p.m. Right, today, Wednesday, the 24th of July, right, they returned to Telescope and its environment, including, right, the Bay Road. That's from 5 p.m. Right, so all during the morning period, the Ministry of Health workers will be in your area, checking on areas that they should pay attention to. By the evening time, this evening 5 p.m., they will start the fogging operation again in Telescope, right, close to around the Bay Road area. Right, on Thursday, the Town of Grenville from 5 p.m. Thursday the 26th, the Town of Grenville, right, from 5 p.m. On Friday the 27th of July, the Town of Grenville again and its environment, including Riverlet Lane. Right, so there we see we had for the 4 days, we have 2 days, right, for Telescope, right, Tuesday and Wednesday, 24th and 25th, from 5 p.m. And Thursday and Friday, we have the Town of Grenville, right, and Friday it will Town of Grenville and will include Riverlet Lane, right. So all the residents in these areas for the next couple of days, please pay attention, right, and do what is necessary. And so, if you have persons that that are affected, and so by smoke or whatever, they are asthma patient, persons who cannot tolerate, and so the smoke, try and get them out of the area, before 5 o'clock and so, and and then return them again perhaps in the next hour or so when the whole fogging system is done. So hey, pay attention, do what needs to be done, right, and give the cooperation to the staff, members of the Ministry of Health, who are doing, an excellent job in ensuring that the Aedes aegypti mosquito is kept under control, right? And we have to play our part. We have to continue to play our part, ensuring that we get rid of the containers that hold water, unwanted containers, and so the old tires and all these type of things. All things that collect water that is unwanted and can create breeding space and so for the mosquitoes. Let's get rid of it, right? So you help the Ministry of Health, and they in turn, the job will be much easier in tackling and dealing with the mosquito cases. Also to the whole question of rodents, right? And so let us do what we can to minimize, and so the amount of rats and so that we have around the place, and we can play our part, get rid of all the garbage, unwanted garbage, and areas in which the rats and so will multiply and that kind of thing. Let's keep the environs clean. We've seen the debushing program have started, and so that will complement, right, the cleaning of the surroundings, right? So together as residents in the different areas, and so while the debushing program is going on, you do your part, you play your part in assisting and in helping cleaning the area, right? We have to continue to pay attention of our health. That is the wealth of our country. Okay, right? So that is there from the Ministry of Health, and so this morning, well, we coming to you live via 89.5 CRFM out there in Monjaloo, and so 97.5 City Song out there in River Road, and so 92.9 in Sister Isle of Carriacou, right? Broadcasting to Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And so good morning to you, special people out there in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. And so, and 94.9 We Vibes Radio in Brooklyn, New York. Good morning to all of you carrying us live, yeah, in Brooklyn and wherever you are. It's a special, wonderful Grenadian morning to you. All right, so hey, and I was saying earlier on, the post cabinet press conference was held. Minister Bowen was the one there batting, and so, and there are a number of things that he made mention of, but in particular, and so to note, and so the whole question of gravel and concrete, right? He made it clear that if we were paying attention to some of the developments over the last year or so, gravel and concrete, or there was an attempt for gravel and concrete to get into a public-private partnership, right? And so with a private company, and so, and after a while, and so I'm coming to realize that it could not work based on the conditions and so that were laid down and everything like that. So Minister Bowen has made it clear that look, the partnership that they wanted to get into with gravel and concrete, and so right, is no more, right? But however, right, the idea of that private public partnership is still open, right? It is still open where you have a private company who wants to invest, and so once they meet the threshold, and so to do it, then government will entertain that, right? And so there we see and understand, and so what has been going on with gravel and concrete for the last couple of months, perhaps a year, and so now there has been a new board, right? A new board of directors put in place by government, and so to run the affairs of gravel and concrete. And so we have I think a 7-member board, right, chaired by Miss Quinta Charles, and so you have businessman Mr. Mohan, and so right, you have Mr. Purcell, right? These are two prominent businessmen, and so that run lumber place, and so you see where that is going, right? You have Mr. Abraham, you have Mr. Madison from Carrier Coup, right? You have the PS in the Ministry of Works, and the unions representing workers at gravel and concrete is asked to put forward a member. So we have basically a new 7-member board which has a 1 year tenure, right, to do its operation, because as the minister said, the whole idea of that partnership, that private-public partnership, is still there, right? But in the meantime, while the different it's been investigated looking for the right partners, and so gravel and concrete has to continue its operation, right? Government also is trying to invest some money to keep gravel and concrete afloat and operational, and so also you will find he also mentioned about the $125 million that was given to as a grant to Grenada, right? And so to upgrade our water storage facilities and the lines and everything like that. And these money basically would fall directly under NAWASA. NAWASA will be the one basically overseeing most of these finances. And so and then again, gravel and concrete will be playing a major role, right, in terms of ensuring that most of the aggregates and so concrete and so is being provided. And so in the meantime, gravel and concrete, right, is up and running, right? Despite what you've been hearing over the last couple of months, and so that gravel and concrete was sold and blah blah, all sorts of nonsense all over the place, right? But now you hear the Minister of Works telling you exactly what is going on with gravel and concrete, and its operation for the next year, right, under the new board, right? So hey, kudos to the Ministry of Work and the minister, right? And so for the forward thinking for gravel and concrete, all right? We will take a break and we'll be right back. Just give us a few moments.
It is said that education is the key to success. The Grenada Development Bank believes this to be the truth. Hence the reason we have made it our prerogative to ensure that your key is in safe hands with us. Here is how you can unlock your success with an education loan from the GDB. We offer you 3 loan options. We've got our regular student loan, our work-study student loan, and our special student loan. Our regular student loan is for persons who wish to pursue full-time tertiary level education. If you are a permanent employee who wish to study while continuing your employment, then our work-study loan is for you. Our special student loan is in collaboration with the government of Grenada, geared towards vulnerable persons who would like to pursue higher level education. Remember, you must have proof of admission from a recognized institution here at home or abroad. All our loans are 100% financing with interest rates as low as 5%. Get your funding from GDB today for your tertiary level education, your technical training or vocational training, even professional development, with up to 12 years to repay. Your future success is today. Grab it now.
Amazing! The day cruise going down aboard the all-new Dolly Sea. Sunday, July 29th. SNS Promotion says get on board for the biggest and craziest cruise of the year with Jam King, Chopri, Boise, Inspector, and Talpri. Musical Invasion by Black Storm, Joey T, Ben Jr., and Sub Jr. Together with Short Leg. Tickets cost $50 with a complimentary drink for everyone. Boats as 1 p.m. from the current on. For tickets and more info, contact Chucky's Bar, opposite the bus terminal, Shortman in Gregmore, or call 407-1111. Sponsors: Brighton and Miners, Glaxcoat, Amazing Rum Liqueur, Grenada Brewers Limited, Sunshine Promotions, Hippos Tires, Andy Johnson Auto Parts, Skies Construction Company Limited, Carriacou, and the Travelers Bar. So Sunday, July 29th, we're aboard the Dolly Sea. Amazing. This one is gonna be memorable. So get your tickets now.
You're listening to Hard Talk Grenada via www.hardtalkgrenada.com.
Yeah, we are back with Hard Talk Live. And friends, we've joined by former parliamentarian for St. Andrews Northeast and Minister of Agriculture, and now the General Secretary of the new National Party, Honorable Bola. Good morning to you, sir.
Well, good morning to you, Devon. Thank you very much. Good morning to your technical operator, and he's assisting me technically, making sure that the mic is in place. Yeah?
He's a Nazim, sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you got to be careful. What kind of assistance you're getting? I want to say good morning to the listening public, those who are tuned in. You know, we're happy to always have you listening to Hard Talk, where you get good and proper information.
Solid information. Yeah, you know. And Mr. Bowen, thanks, Mr. Bola, I keep saying Mr. Bowen after the press conference. My apologies. Mr. Bola, I think it's because too, you kind of getting out of the game too, and you know,
okay,
kind of bothered me. So
I'm getting as gray as Mr. Bowen is too.
Well, the good thing about it, you didn't get gray at the top, eh?
Okay. Well, I ain't got nothing at the top, so nothing would get gray.
Yes, Mr. Bola, thanks again for coming up. And there are a number of things that, as General Secretary of the party, that wrong now you would want to share and to highlight, you know, give some updates on, and so some of the party's activities and so. So, hey, it's tell us.
Well, thank you again for the opportunity, and just to inform the public, we have had a number of activities since election as a party. Now I'm speaking party activities, not necessarily government. And we got into gear immediately after the election, and we started the operations and trying to reorganize and to get more of the constituents involved in the activities that we're doing. But in so doing, we recognize that, listen, it cannot be, you know, all just serious work and not a little time for fun, action, social activities. as you would know, and most people, we had our general council towards the end of June at the Hermitage Government School. We decided not to. That means the national executive of the party, to have a rally, because just coming out of the election mood with all the rallies that we had, and so we just brought in our delegates and a couple of observers, and it was well attended. There was well over 300 people attending that activity at the Hermitage Government School. Coming out of that, we had a working session where the constituencies, all 15 constituencies being represented by the delegates, we formulated groups, 5 groups to be exact, and they were all given a question that we prepared with the cognizance of the national executive, that they gave responses to. So as we speak, the organizing committee, we met just yesterday and we're going to meet next Tuesday afternoon again, going through the responses from the 5 groups, and we are trying to group them into some of the things that are achievable in the short term, the medium term, the long term, and then to put an implementation plan in place that we can roll out. Because that is now the delegates, the regular constituents from the varying constituencies saying to us, as a party, they think X must be done, Y must be done, more of that should be done, less of that, and so we want to make sure that we put power into what they say. As one of the social activities that we had organized a windball cricket competition referred to as Doc's Challenge Trophy. Basically putting the constituencies, all 15, into 3 separate groups. You win, you continue to play, you lose, you're out. It was a short and snap kind of competition. The semi-finals and finals was played last Saturday at Busheju. St. Andrews Southeast came up against St. John's in the semi-finals, and St. Andrews Southeast triumphed. They have played right through the competition. Well, in fact, because they have never lost a match, they ended up in the final. They triumphed, and later on in the afternoon into the night, under the lights, they then played South St. George to determine who the winner would be. St. Andrews Southeast again, St. Andrews people, they good yam and blog and
we melt the steel.
Yeah.
The steel get
melt. Steel was melted. And so they won, and the first ever competition, they held on to the trophy. I was out of state, so I was not present, but my understanding is that it went very smooth. There weren't much or any hiccups at all. Maybe crowd support could have been a little bigger, but I know the welfare arm of the party did have a fundraiser, and when I spoke to the lady in charge, she said, "Oh, we did well financially. My bakes and saltfish sold out and what have you." So it meant that there were people, because food sold. The next time around, maybe we can bring out much more, because NNP has a really good following. So I want to commend the winners, the champions, Ms. Pierre and her team. Yes, you are the crowned champion of the Doc's Challenge Trophy. I also want to congratulate the South for making it to the finals, and of course St. John's the semi-finals. All the organizers, the people behind the scenes who you didn't see, but were planning, were preparing, was writing up the rules, making sure that the balls were there, the umpires were in place, the scorers were there. I'd like to say a hearty thank you to all of them. I mean, while as General Secretary, I am at the helm trying to plan. Without the other people's hand, in the mix, it would have been extremely difficult or probably even impossible, and so I want to say thank you to them. But I want to at the same time inform people of what next. Coming up pretty soon in the carnival season, I heard the adverts. I heard one just yesterday, and I was like shocked. Premium, it's called Premium Fete or something. I don't know. If you borrow me or buy me a ticket, maybe Nazim would 300 for regular, 350 for VIP. Say, come. That must be a whole day and whole night fete. You eating, you drinking, and you're doing it.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying.
To fete for one day.
Yeah, but the NNP, as per usual, we do an annual fete, what we call all day fete. It's not going to cost you 300. You can spend 300 if you so desire, but it's only $10 a ticket. Will get you food, and we have a variety of things that we serve. The constituencies prepare. We have all along of both types, meat, ital, so Rastaman like Devon, you can still have oil down. No meat, you don't have to worry. Then there are several other things that they do. Barbecue chicken, I think barbecue pork. You have pig feet waters. You have lambi waters. There's baked and salt fish. Rice and peas, stewed meat, curry, mutton. The different constituencies provide different kind of fish broth.
The whole work.
Yeah, everything is there, and the tickets are already out. Every constituency office, you can check them, or the rep, or even the workers from the office. You can just purchase a ticket for $10. You can come anytime from 11 o'clock up until night, and you can get your food. And then there's a solid bar and real music. A few the artists sometimes pass through and do a little performance in no specific order. They come, they do the thing, and that's it. So it's a day of fetting and fun for the NNP, and we've done it many years, and it has been a success, and we expect this year to be another success. So we're just asking people out there, look, support. Yeah, go to $300 and 100 US Fed too. No problem with that.
No problem with
another
that.
one. I think that one is at the stadium, 75 and 100 US.
Yeah,
so,
100. All we asking for is just $10.
$10 per ticket.
$10 per ticket.
And you eat, and you can buy as much drink as you want thereafter. And I mean, you get to rub shoulders. Prime Minister is normally here. All of the reps are here. Exactly. It's not the kind of day when you come to tell them, oh God, the child in a milk or this or that. Yeah. But I mean, it's a day when you can talk other things with them. A lot of other things. And so we just want to invite the general public to be part of that. It's right at Mount Helicon, the headquarters of the new National Party. And bring a friend. Just bring a friend. Yeah.
So basically, well, I mean, based on the NNP membership and so, I mean, that should be not should be a problem in terms of support, all right? Because if you have every constituency sending 20 persons just to purchase.
Yeah, we want a little more than that. We expect every constituency to send at least 100.
100 persons.
100 persons. Yes. And, I mean, we're not limiting you to that. I mean, 500 would be even better per constituency. But we're saying at least 100 per constituency would do. Well, with the exception of Carrico and Pitima, I think who has to travel by boat.
But with Carrico, I mean, I ain't find there should be no kind of exception, because right now we have 2 boats running Carrico.
No. We have not pushed them out. What we're saying is we provide 14 constituencies were provided with 100 tickets each. Carrico and Pitima, I think, was provided with 50. Because we think it's a little extra cost, for them. And they too have a number of activities around that time. Right, so they are not out. We say they're NNP too, and they have to participate. But we're just saying we don't expect you, Carrico, to push out that much. But come and surprise us. Bring them 250. Yeah, make us know that Carrico solid in the house.
Dolly C running, I mean, that's an extra thing.
Yeah. So, and I understand that the rates are a little cheaper than
I understand that too. I mean, so I mean, that's good. That's good right there. So we can expect perhaps even not 100, but almost 100 coming from Carrico.
Yeah.
Understand? So come out and support. It's an NNP thing, but it's not just limited to NNP supporters and whatever, well-wishers. Those of you who want to see the party move forward, may not be a member, but you want to support, because you say it's an institution that is there. You understand? So the more support that you have all wrong will make it, and they say too much cook the spoil, but not this part. This part you have more cooks is much better. The food tastes better, right? We have seen that for the last 2 elections.
Yep.
Yeah, the more
You see, when too much cooks spoil the pot when you don't have a head chef. You see, in this pot there's a head chef. So the head chef determines what other cook does. Yeah? So never when they say I peel breadfruit, you can't go and try to stew meat. That is not involved. So there's a head chef that determines. So the kitchen has to run well.
The kitchen has to run well. Yeah.
Definitely.
Order has to be. I mean,
there's order. There's order. When you have kind of kitchen like what our competitors have. Yeah, no leader. Oh, everybody is
Everybody
leader.
just doing that.
Everybody picking up pot spoon. Everybody putting salt.
You understand? That would be too much salt. Some people picking up spoon and putting in their mouth and then putting in the pot. Them kind of things.
The
So,
food
no,
gon' spoil.
the spoon go fall. You go sour fast.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes,
You see what
yes,
happened from 2008 to 2000. The food sour fast.
Yes,
It can't last.
Yeah,
You understand?
You had to have some order, and you must have someone in control. So,
You-
so it's not totally true that too much cook spoil the pot.
No.
Too much cook who has no order and someone to keep control spoil the pot. Yeah. So come out on the 11th. That's the Saturday before Carnival. You know, this NNP pot is never spoiled. Lot of food. I heard. I mean, someone there was exploring the possibility. I think one of the constituencies to do a crayfish waters.
Wow.
Long time I ain't,
Yeah,
but I mean, a lot of different things. They're being very innovative. Tanya log and everything.
Yeah.
You have all types of food here that you can get and will get on the 11th, and we're making every effort. Everything is in place to have all foods being delivered on or before 11 o'clock.
So we're looking at the 14 constituencies. Most likely, all of them will be.
Not most likely. Definitely.
All of them.
All will be providing. Carriacou is providing too, but they're not cooking to bring it. They are providing the animals for the curry mutton.
Well, no, Carriacou providing
the thing. They're
Carriacou doing the thing.
And they have been in every single year they have been. You know, it's kind of too difficult for them to have a cooking Carriacou to bring food here.
Well, except for the cuckoo. They could do the cuckoo and walk with it.
And walk with it. That too is a possibility. So we could explore that. I mean, ideas are coming. It's a nice fete, and I just want people to know, you know. And coming after that, we have a number of other things. We already know that our convention will be in October, and we're having a youth activity earlier part of October. 28th October is our planned date for convention. We have to decide where we're going to do it this year, and you know, we get into the end of November, December is the Christmas time, and so we give constituencies the opportunity to do the Christmas tree lighting and, you know, toy distribution and so. But we have a whole calendar of events. It's already planned. Everybody know there might be a little shifting of dates here and there for varying reasons. But up until now, we look set for the rest of the year. Our training and everything is in place. And as a matter of fact, as soon as the all-day fete is off the table, we're finished with that. The planning for 2019, God's willing, will start, and I'm talking planning for party activities. So very early, by January, with end of December, early January, we'll be able to roll out our calendar to say, for the year 2019, from January to December, these are the activities, major activities I'm talking, that the party from the Secretariat will be unrolling. Yeah.
Mr. Bola, just before you run off, there has been a sticking point. Now, sort of reiterate for us the difference between our General Council and our convention. What is expected in the General Council and what is expected in a convention of a party?
Well, they are pretty similar with very slight differences. One, based on our constitution, the General Council requires less delegates than the convention, right? The convention is the highest decision-making body of the party. Now, so for example, you can bring something forward in a general council, but it must be ratified by a convention. I'll give an example. If you wanted to make a constitutional amendment, so in the constitution of the party, maybe there's something you wanted to amend, change a few words, add something to it or so. In the General Council, you can give notice, you can bring it forward, you can read it out, the delegates will listen, they will hear, but a decision cannot be taken. Okay. You must go to the convention. Why? The convention is the only place where you can also have an election. No election can take place at a General Council. You can only have elected members of the party at a convention, right? So for example, we have agreed that for the youth and the women, rather than as the Constitution has it presently, we do a convention yearly or annually. We had brought forward that as an amendment to the Constitution to do it now biannually. So it means that when you put a youth executive in place, they have 2 years instead of 1 year, 24 months instead of 12. The national executive remains as it is every year, every 12 months, thereabout. Depending on the date you set the convention, you can go slightly more than a year or slightly less, based on dates and so. So that is principally the difference between them. It's the same set of discussions you do because it's the party's business that you're trying to discuss with a wider array of people. Now, when you're voting an executive at the convention, the executive then assumes the responsibility of running the party's affairs, making the decisions that the party will be involved in, determining whether we should participate in this or not, right? Your general council, twice yearly, which is what the Constitution says, and your convention once a year, gives you now that opportunity to report. That's why the general secretary has to report on all of the activities from the last time we met to this other time we're meeting, what the party has been involved in. So now you're going out to a wider array of membership. So while you have delegates, that is why we also brings in, at the same time, in the room where we have the activity, the general council of the convention, we're bringing other people, as we say. So you have delegates, and you have some other people that come just to hear. Observers. The delegates now are the ones when a decision. So, for example, in the convention, it is only the delegates, as prescribed by the Constitution, could participate in the voting process. Because your delegates are representatives of your constituency, right? The observers are there to look and to say, yes, we saw this thing happen. It was fair, or it wasn't fair, or, we ain't believe this person was deserving. But they cannot participate because they're not a delegate. They're there to look. Make comments outside and after, or tell you, call the general secretary, the chairman of the party, or somebody, and say, I was there as an observer. And that's why you're an observer. And I observed X, or I observed Y. So the next time around, in planning, you will take that into account and try to deal with it. Yes? Okay. So I think the main thing, the major difference between a general council and a convention is that the convention is the only place where you can have the elections. Decisions made and changes could be made to certain things. The general council, it's more about.
We get a call. Good morning and welcome. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my dear. How are you?
Good morning, Miss Jacob, and we fine.
Good morning, my beautiful, handsome brother.
Good morning to you, Miss Jacob. How are you today?
I'm fine.
Great.
I'm very on top of the world, man.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
Glad. I'm glad, Brother Bula.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
For the Honorable Dr. Keith Mitchell, I give him 100, I give him 1,000 kisses.
Yes.
For the $100 he give the senior.
Oh, the increase.
Oh, my
the
God.
Increase. Yes. A lot of people are happy.
Thank you.
Miss Jacob, that was a promise that he made. Sometimes people say, politicians only promise and don't deliver. And NNP promise. But he did make that promise that once he gets back into office, that he would seriously look at the possibility of increasing, once the physical space allows it, for the senior people, that those who are on the public assistance. Because there's another thing that we need, and just sorry for taking a little bit of your time there, Ms. Jacob. There are a number of different people, or categories, I should say, who receive assistance from government at the end of the month. You have students who get assistance for transportation and other stuff. You have the seniors who get their public assistance. You have people who suffer with disability, may not necessarily be senior, very young ones, they get to. But the increase was just for the seniors, right? The senior citizens. And I met a couple of people, and one lady said to me, "Oh, God, I could have eat something good this month." And I said, "Why?" She said, "Well, the little thing I used to get, I used to pay the little bills, but now I have something extra." So, it means a lot.
When I don't pay all my bill,
yes.
Or government giving me my water,
yes.
Or when I pay my light bill, and my
your telephone
bill,
yes.
and I buy me my medication. I have nothing.
Right.
But thank God for the Honorable Dr. Kit Mitchell this year, my minister. I call boy, you say, yes, Miss Jacob, you're cutting style on me this year. My dear sweetheart, I don't cutting style on you. I could able to pay me tax on myself.
For yourself, you don't have to go to him and ask him for help. All right, that's good.
All right, Ms. Jacob. Thanks again, Ms. Jacob, and have a wonderful day.
Yeah, you have a wonderful day and take care of my beautiful brother, Bola.
All right,
Okay,
Ms. Jacob.
darling?
Okay,
Yes,
love you.
Love you too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Mr. Bola, just before you go, I've not confirmed it, but I think it's thing. We had the death of Miss Mark. That's Miss Smith, Yolan Smith's mom.
Uh-huh.
All right, sometime over the weekend. All right. Yolan is one of our party. She's a diplomat.
Outside there, yes.
Where
she's in Miami?
In Miami.
Right,
yeah,
at the consulate office.
Yeah,
Well, it's saddened to hear that, Our sympathies goes out to the family, especially you, Yolan, but to the rest of the family. Whenever there's a death, irrespective of the age, of the person or whatever ailment they was going through, it's never really a nice thing, It brings a lot of sadness. It means that is a loved one that, based on biblical preachings, the only opportunity we may have to see them again is if we meet on that final day.
When we meet again.
Hopefully that we will all meet again. But, I'm on my own behalf as General Secretary and on behalf of the party. And I know the party would have done something, more official. I just want to express to the entire Smith family, our condolences and sympathies and passing of your loved one. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one final thing I wanted to ask you was on the convention and the General Council. After the convention and the executive has been elected and so, the day-to-day running of the party until the next convention, how does that, who does that and how does that
Okay, so you have the party secretariat, right? Because, there are mundane things that the executive of the party don't really concern itself with. Who pays the telephone bill? Did you pay the water bill? So that's why you have a manager of the office and you have that. The General Secretary's office is responsible or have the responsibility for planning a lot of the activities, but must get it ratified by the executive. Yes? So if I decide that, like we're doing now, we have some training this afternoon, the constituencies in St. George will be engaged in training. Last Tuesday we had the 4 in St. Andrews. We're doing it at a zonal basis, trying to help build leadership skills and so in our people who are manning the village groups and to sustain them and keep them going. The organs of the party. That's the role of the General Secretary. Make sure that the organs are going, make sure that the information is reaching out. The PR has that responsibility as well. But you overlook and you make sure relevant information goes where it is supposed to go and that the engine is working properly. Yes? So the General Secretary, like if you compare it to a body, the National Executive is like the brain. They sit there and they make the major decision. But the General Secretary and whatever staff he has, it's like the heart. You need to be pumping all the time. Without blood, without the heart pumping and the heart working, the brain, as smart as it is, would be of no use.
Some heart does break down,
Well, sometimes they do, but you could get them repaired.
Right.
If you take time, if you do it right,
but at the same time, if you take care of the body itself, then the heart would perform better.
Yes.
Unlike other organizations, they have
Right, like
sick
vehicles
heart.
too. Yeah, some up that heart have a bad disease, but let me go
put a pacemaker.
More than that, I think. But more than that, you need a lot of things for the heart. But so what happens is that after your convention and you elect an executive in place, that executive is the one that sits. Whether weekly you decide, bi-weekly, monthly, you meet and you discuss. You also look at emerging political trends. What can threaten the security of the party. Well, when I say security, I'm not talking no fighting stuff. I'm talking
the survival
of the party. What new decisions you must make? How different can we deal with the youth? And that's why we have youth representative in the national executive. But there's another thing that happens. based on the Constitution, it gives the power to the political leader and the chairman, who is really the chairman as it relates to party functions, is the head of the party, really. The power to invite, so you can have an invitee. So depending on what the issue is at any particular time, the chairman, the political leader, sometimes the general secretary might be involved in the conversation, can determine we need to invite these two people to this executive meeting because they may be an authority on the issue that you want to discuss. Okay. You know, they may have good knowledge, or they might be intimately involved in the issue that you want to discuss, so they can lend some kind of support. But they are just an invitee, maybe for that meeting, maybe for 2 meetings, right? Because they were not elected by the delegates to be members, right? So that's what the national executive does. There's an issue in a particular constituency, the matter comes to the national executive, they discuss, and then they set up little committees and say, okay, based on that issue, we want a committee of 3. You must go study the issue, gather more information, bring recommendations. The national executive decides, based on the recommendation you bring, yes, we'll go forward with it. No, we may change this. You know, it's, like I said, the brain. It's what keeps the party running for a 12-month period, makes decisions, hand down, decisions, and then you go back to another convention and you do an election again.
Wonderful. Well, Mr. Bola, thanks again for showing up, and thanks for sharing all this, valuable information.
Thank you for having me.
To the party.
Right?
All right.
We're grateful, and don't forget the 11th, Saturday the 11th, Saturday before Carnival.
Saturday before Carnival.
Come here, all day fed, $10 a ticket. Get you anything you want to eat. You buy your drinks, you dance, you lime, and then you get ready and you go. What we do at Carnival Saturday night? Pure white,
pure white, panorama.
Pum pum.
Yeah. Pum pum. Yeah. And then we have all white around 1 o'clock.
Whatever. So
we go in pum pum and then we go in
right.
all white.
So you come all day fed.
Yes.
You
all
eat
day,
well.
We
won't let you overdrink because you have other carnival activities.
Yes, definitely.
And then you go to Pum Pum.
You go to Pum Pum and then you go all white. You ended up with all that.
Yeah. And I like cigar, I saw him on a little thing interview the other day. He said he like Pum Pum.
Well, of course
I like Pum Pum too.
I love Pum Pum. Every year I partake in the Pum Pum thing, but you understand?
Right.
Some of us do it every day. And so, but I like him. I like what he say. He love Pum Pum. I mean that's.
He say if pan mean Pum Pum, I love Pum Pum.
I love Pum Pum. Any of us, Ebola? We have a call. Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning to you.
I'm trying to find out if there is free transportation or we have to find out transport to go to Mount Heligan for this big set for 11.
Yeah. You get your transport. Whether you have a bicycle, whether you have a donkey, a scooter, come. Hey.
And it's Saturday.
It's a Saturday, bus running.
All right, brother.
Just come. From 11, we're here and we're ready for you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. All right. We'll be right back after a few moments.
Stay up to date with all that's happening with the new national party, NNP. Send us a message via text or WhatsApp on 405-8683 with your name, email, and constituency. Stay in the know with NNP. Get updated.
For over 2 decades, Grenada has had one of the highest electricity rates in the world. In a non-competitive environment, the high rates have been putting businesses under pressure, forcing householders to cut, stifling economic growth. Oh my Grenada. Like countries such as Dominica, St. Lucia, and Jamaica, Grenada is moving to open up the power generation sector to competition. Oh my Grenada. Like with telecommunications, competition will spur innovation, ensure efficiency and reliability, and make electricity more affordable. The economy will grow faster, and in the end, the network company will sell more. With a stronger economy, electricity usage will increase, maintaining profits for the provider while the prices gets lower for the consumer. Power to the people. Oh my Grenada. In a liberalized economy, everybody wins. Liberalization is about the people of Grenada. Fair competition, fair prices, power to the people.
It is said.
Hey, good morning, Devon. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, morning.
Good
How
morning.
are you?
Not too bad, my
How
friend.
everything?
Yes, good.
Brother Devon, I want to say, NMP is a party that just brings joy and pride and happiness to the senior citizens and to people. Right? And NMP in government and other government, when they made a promise, they fulfill the promise. A promise of the public assistance to the senior citizens. We they say from 200, they'll give them 300. They kept their promise. They kept their promise. They are NMP not as a party will promise people things, and they say they will come and say they never did. When they say they do something, they go do something, they do it. With a visionary leader as Dr. Mitchell, because he cares and he loves people. And when he made a promise to the senior citizens, to the youth, to every class of people in Grenada, he will fulfill it. Right? And the senior citizens, they deserve it. They even deserve more. As I said, even physical space available, they will get something again. Alright? Because he cares and he love people. Alright? Not as the other party. They made promise and they said they will come back and say they never did.
Can't fulfill.
Because when people don't care, and they will try to thankful people and to get what they want. And when they get what they want, they just forget the people who they made the promise. But not so with NMP. As a party, they promise and they fulfill. As our motto in the 2013 election, we will deliver, and the NMP delivering on the promises. So Devon, you have a wonderful day. God bless you. God bless you.
All right, my
Breakfast
friend.
Saturday, please.
Yes,
let's go
our board to do a thing.
Saturday, okay?
All right, my friend. Thank you. Yes. Well, we just had the general secretary of the party, Honorable Bola, just giving us some updates on some of the activities and so, and coming up and one of the major activities that is going to be held within the next couple of days, weeks, and so is the every year all day fete. I mean, from 11 that has been held at the headquarters, Mount Heligan, and this year it's on the 11th of August, right in the yard, man. You have all kind of food, all kind. Don't ask me if you have pork or you have everything. Come, I tell you that. Don't ask me if I either prepared. I know all the constituencies put in some, even cargo providing all the goat and the sheep and the cow and everything like that. You understand? Good morning and welcome. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning, my.
Okay, I'm calling to share some information concerning the constituency of St. Davis.
Yes. Oh, how are you doing, ma'am?
I'm okay.
Okay. Yes, go right ahead. Okay. Lower the radio a bit, please. We get a little feedback.
I'm not close to you. I'm hearing you very low, but I'm not close to our radio.
Okay, so go right ahead. This is a little better now.
So we are in the process of moving to a new location. It's just a little higher up the road.
Okay.
At La Sagesse. We will be having our grand opening on Friday in the form of a fundraiser where we'll have a fundraiser there from 1 o'clock Friday until we'll do the blessings in the morning and so on. And so we want persons to know that tomorrow, which is Thursday, the minister will be out in the field. He will not be in office tomorrow. He will be out in the field visiting some of the elderlies within the constituency because we will be moving. So then, the office will be a little bit busy.
Okay.
So we want constituents to know that the office will reopen to see minister next Thursday, and it will be at the new location. And you can't miss it. It's at La Sagesse, right close to Captain John, right where we did that new piece of road there.
Okay.
That nice piece of work was done in La Sagesse.
Right by Natural Works.
Close to Natural Works.
Okay.
Just before the bridge, there is a white building on your left-hand side. It's upstairs and downstairs. We're at the ground floor.
Okay, wonderful.
You can't miss it. As you head for La Sagesse, after you pass the New Testament Church, building is right there.
It's right after the
Testament Church. We'll have our sign up and so on to welcome persons. So we just want persons to be aware that we'll be moving into the new location as of Monday. Okay. After our grand opening on Friday, on Monday, persons can contact us at the new office, and our numbers and everything remain the same. However, in the process of moving, the phone lines might get interrupted or so on. So you can contact us on 403-3892. So, Devon, I'll appreciate it if you can just give out the number ever so often for us, please.
Most definitely.
That's a cell phone number,
It's
403
yes.
3892.
Okay.
And hopefully by Monday the phone and everything system and everything will be back up and running.
Most definitely.
Well,
Okay.
thank you so much.
All right. You have a wonderful day.
You too.
All right,
Bye-bye.
take care. Yeah, there you had it. There you had it. St. David's, the constituency office, yes, is about to be moved to new location. Yeah, to La Sagesse, not too far from where the location is, about five minutes walk, and so it's close to the natural works, and so it's a white building there on the bottom floor, right? The number to get them and continue to get them in the meantime is 403-3892. Also, right, the minister will be in the field tomorrow, Thursday. Okay? So, hey, so all of you in St. David's, please take note of the new location of your MP's office, right? And that will be open on Monday. But the blessings and so, will take place on Friday in an activity. And so, I'll fundraising and so on Friday. And from as Monday, business as usual. We can't sit down. Understand? Keep it moving. All right? So yeah, so wow, we fastly approaching the end of this program, but there's a few bits of information that we need to share, and so with you. Good morning and welcome. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Wow, I don't think we can. All right, well, we got to go right ahead. Yeah, again, the Ministry of Health, right, and Environment is advising the persons of Telescope, right, and its environs, and so of the fogging crew, right, which will be in the area today, Wednesday, 25th of July, right, Telescope and its environment and around Bay Road. From 5 p.m., the fogging will start. Yesterday, they was also in Telescope around the Progress Park area, and so today they are in Telescope still and the environs, right, and basically around the Bay Road area from 5. Fogging for mosquito, right? On Thursday, Tongue of Grenville from 5 p.m. On Friday, the 27th, Tongue of Grenville and its environment, which includes Riverhead Lane, right? So the people of St. Andrews, especially in Telescope and the Tongue of Grenville, expect the fogging crew to be in your area the entire week up until Friday from 5 p.m. So please give them your support, your assistance, and so, and let them know, if you've seen something that is not normal and that sort of thing, and they can do something about it, right? So give them the support. Good morning and welcome. Hello. Good morning. Can't. Yeah. Anyhow, okay, on Saturday, 28th July, right, from 6 a.m. in the morning, St. George's Northwest NAGMA Committee, along with the constituency branch, right, will be having a breakfast in front of Ball's shop, that's in Fountainoil, right? On sale, you have roast bake, fried bakes, fried bread fruit, saltfish sauce, fish cake, right? Fried jacks, local juice, herbal tea. Come out and support, and so all proceeds in aid of the family that lost their house in the recent fire, a couple of months ago, right around that particular area. So come out and support, right, and show your patriotism and give a helping hand, right, to another fellow Grenadian family who are in need. Okay. Also, too, hey man, the Granitang House. All of you going from St. Andrews to St. George's and from St. George's to St. Andrews, hey, on the 4th, be a part of that, little activity there at the Granitang House up there in Granitang. You're getting all kind of things to eat and drink. Come and support and be a part of that evening. Wonderful evening right up there on the 4th of August at the Granitang House. Yes, my friends, and hey, we fast approaching the end of our program. I mean, there are one or two things that, again, that, we have want to discuss based on the press conference this morning held by Minister Bowen. But tomorrow, please the Lord, we will continue to elaborate and to, broaden the scope on what he had to say, all right, and to give you as much information and so what to prepare for. Because, I mean, one of the major things is, hearing is the $125 million grant that was given to Grenada, right, for the Green Project, and in which NAWASA will basically, have more, well, the bigger say in terms of the laying of pipes, the water treatment plants, and so better water for our people, right? So, hey, look out for that. Much more information will be shared, and so as we move forward. Also, too, on Thursday, that's tomorrow, the Ministry of Works, right? The Ministry of Works and garage owners in St. George's. There is a meeting scheduled, right, at the ministry conference room for 2 p.m. on Thursday. That's tomorrow. So all owners of garage around St. George's area, please make a special effort to attend. A number of issues, right, and burning issues need to be discussed, and so on the way forward. And so as we try to make things much easier and better for all of us, right, using the nation's roads, right? Hey, friends, it has been a wonderful morning. Short, but packed with information. The press conference, then you had former Minister of Agriculture, and so Honorable Bola, who is also the General Secretary of the party, and so giving us some, real good information as to what is going on with the party at this point in time, what are the plans and programs, and so. And hey, one such activity coming up on the 11th, and so, right, is basically the all-day fete at Mount Heligan, where you have all the constituencies putting out different foods, and so come out and support. It's only $10. Come and eat full, right? So we eating all day in Mount Heligan. We going pum pum the evening, and then we going white later on the night. All right? Hey, friends, it has been a wonderful morning, sharing information and being with you. My name is Devon Romain, and we will see you tomorrow, please the Lord. Another Hard Talk program. Peace out.
But I'm not weak no more. I found the strength of my ancestors deep down in my African core. I used to be frightened. I'm not afraid no more. The Father blessed me with the heart of a lion and a warrior soul. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. 'Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer. Come on, let's conquer. Oh, I will conquer. Rise up and conquer. Conquer them. Shout.
Alright, you passing out? Alright, it's used. It's a pan. That thing I'm going on here.
Wait. Hold on. Turn it up a little.
It's going down today. The Mashup Challenge. Who will be Mr. Mashup 2018? Over $10,000 in cash prizes to be won. Getting-us from all over the country will be there.
I don't know what's all in. My God!
Look me, fellas. I'm out.
All good. One, two, and the master said.
Demolish all fencing, fence in every city. Mash up challenge. Don't want to have no pity. When you're rich and different, I want to push down, push down, push down. Lift up every break down, break down. Don't want to have no pity. Want to push down, push down, push down. Lift up every break down, break down. Every goddamn thing in the way. Lord, come in the commander. Everything going under. People start to wonder how building rumble like thunder. When I call your number, start to jump and let we chant. Uber. Holiday mash up challenge. If you think you're bad, then mash up place like we. Mash up challenge. We make the headline newspaper and TV. Mash up challenge. Demolish all fencing, fence in every city. Mash up challenge. Don't want to have no pity. When you're rich and different, I want to push down. Lift up every break down. Don't want to have no pity. Want to push down. Lift up every break down. Every goddamn thing in the way. Do what the master say. Shake the building and break away. Do what the master say. Master soon as we get we pay. Do what the master say. We come to cause collateral damage in here. Holiday mash up challenge. Cause a commotion and get into formation. Master say hold down the place like it's a soca revolution. All who feel them bad and feel them tough, they dead wrong. Line up on the crew and make them know say where you're from. It's a give me the most trouble. 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 And more. If you know you're terrible, you what I want you to do. I want to push down. Lift up every break down. Don't want to have no pity. Want to push down. Lift up every break down. Every goddamn thing in the way. Do what the master say. Shake the building and break away. Do what the master say. Master soon as we get we pay. Do what the master say. We come to cause collateral damage in here. Holiday mash up challenge. They think that they bad. We bust on every goddamn virus. They cannot play mass with us. We are them we dangerous. They think that they bad. We bust on every goddamn virus. They cannot play mass with us. We are them we dangerous. Do what the master say.
Viking. Just now. Take a chip now. Hey, shake it, shake it, wow. We are the sound of 100,000 coming on the road. We are the vibration that you feel when the music low.
Grenada, August the 11th, the biggest white fete to hit the Grenada National Stadium is coming, and it's coming like a big bad raging storm. Who's coming with it? The Vikings, of course. Bungee Garden, Fairlands, and Band, full squad. 3 big bands, 8 regional acts, 10 local acts from Grenada. This is going to be crazy. The maddest thing to hit in 2018. And the Vikings coming on the plane, straight off the jumbo jet. Man, find yourself there, Grenada National Stadium, August the 11th. All we come here for, bacchanal and water, bow!
Say she want a jab man. get a taste, put the oil in she face. She want the oil in she face, put the oil in she face. She don't care if she get a taste, put the oil in she face. Well, a whole bottle she get, the job won't change. Mickey run down on she neck, the job won't change. I change she color and she less, the job won't change. All she want is blackness. She want a job, you know, Grenada job, you know. So she say she coming down Grenada for the summer. She want a job, you know, a real black job, you know. So she coming down the set to look for one, you know. I say we playing mass as one people, all thing black, real job people. Playing mass as one people, all thing black, real job people.
Playing mass as one people, all thing black, real job people.
The most anticipated, talked about event of 2018. On the 8th day of the 8th month, 2018. Concept Events presents Pre-Day, Ladies First, the Black Edition 3.0. 8 international acts, 8 local superstars. Pre-Day. Grenada National Stadium, August 8, 2018. $15 advance tickets, $60 after. More at the door. VIP $450, catered by Sandals Grenada Resort and Spa. Reserve yours today. Tickets online at gotofet.com. Stay tuned for more. Pre-Day, Ladies First.
I'm looking for that place here, boy. Go so, go down so, go straight, take a left, right. After the bend, go straight, and then you get through. You're on your own.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
I'd like to speak to Mr. Buckshot, please.
Sure.
Yes? Hi, good morning, Mr. Buckshot.
Yes?
I am the person that called pertaining to the help of work.
What you could do? What is your skills? You know there is a lot to be done around here. Show him around.
Love your girl. Lad, 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 lad. Lad, 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 lad. Some man blacker than lad, 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 lad. Yeah, me know, yeah, me know, yeah, me know, yeah, me know you have your man. Okay, I don't have no girl. But I love you bad. Only you I want. Oh man, you're sweet and sexy. Oh man, you really catch me. I could have you alone, but you could have both away. Yeah, man, now you could be my girlfriend, and you could have your man, and that is no problem. No problem. I'm telling you, you could be my only girl, and you could have your man, and that is no problem. That is no problem. I could be a loyal side man. You're loyal side man, girl. First I walk it through. Anything go do, I could be a loyal side man. You're loyal side man, girl. First I walk it you. Anything go do, picture this every fete and every show. If your man don't want to go, then I'm whining with you. Tell you I'm whining with you. You push the lace every fete and on the boat. If your man don't want to go, then I'm whining with you. Tell you I'm whining with you. I could be a loyal side man. See you need a left and right hand. If your man not a vice man, by chance you might need a titan. Walking with all my might and giving you what you like and beating it up like Tyson. Then sending you back to your nice man. I'm telling you, you could be my girlfriend, and you could have your man, and that is no problem. No problem. I'm telling you, you could be my only girl, and you could have your man, and that is no problem. That is no problem.
Babe, I'm really tired of staying home now. I need to go out. I'm bored. I'm fed up.
Darling, go out and have fun. Enjoy yourself. That is why you're living in luxury, because I have to stay working. Have fun. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you, honey.
I could be a loyal side man. You're loyal side man, girl. First I walk it through. Anything go through, I could be a loyal side man. You're loyal side man, girl. First I walk it you. Anything go through, caution is every fete and every show. If your man don't want to go, then I'm whining with you. Tell you I'm whining with you. Oh, caution is every fete touch. Giving you work when you want. I'm telling you all my loyalty. Oh gosh, my girl, you can be my girlfriend, and you can have your man, and that is no problem. No problem. I'm telling you, you can be my only girl, and you can have your man, and that is no problem. I could be a loyal side man, your loyal side man, girl, but I will get you. Anything go through, I could be a loyal side man, your loyal side man, girl, but I will get you. Anything go through, caution is every vet and every show. If your man don't want to go, then I'm whining with you. Tell you I'm whining with you. Oh, push is every vet and on the boat. If your man don't want to go, then I'm liming with you. I tell you I'm whining with you.
So wait. Me and you together. I have my man. You don't have no other woman besides me?
No girl, it's loyalty. Digging back, and digging back.
Your boss is calling me?
Yes, come. Have a seat. Sit down. I know what's happening.
What do you mean?
My wife cheating on me.
You sure about that?
Yes, I'm sure. I hire a private investigator. Take a look. Take a look.
Honey, you was calling me?
Yes, you're honing us. I mean him. Honing him.
The bugger, you playing last side, man?